not deploy, thousands of fuel cell vehicles immediately. We still have gains to make in cost reduction and durability. So the fourth bullet kind of makes that point about, well, some people say if they're so expensive, why bother? And I simply say that the economic arguments against hydrogen fuel cell vehicles have to be weighed against this question, and that is, what will the price of oil be in 10 to 20 years? If you can answer that question, then you can tell me whether it's going to make sense or not. And I think with the rapid rise in oil prices, we would have anticipated $4 a gallon gas today. It's hard to say where it's going. I don't have a crystal ball, but I think it's critical to plant a tree today if we want shade in 10 to 20 years. So that's really what this effort is all about. I think that's critical. We have a kind of a hierarchy of energy choices, so if you're sitting there saying, okay, that's great, Steve, but what do I do today? Well, we're already benefiting from high gas prices. Honda Fit and Civic sales are doing extremely well. Clean gasoline cars. Better than that, of course, are hybrid vehicles. We like to say that best is our natural gas vehicle. Of course, it's more challenging, but it does, see that line down the middle, move us to a new infrastructure paradigm. Everything else relies on that status quo, what we're doing today with gasoline. So if we're really going to make a move forward, we have to start cleaning ourselves off that and putting in place the pieces, the infrastructure to allow that to happen. It won't be easy, it won't happen overnight, and it won't be inexpensive, but I think the alternative is not something that we all continue to work with. The heavy lifting on the right, the easy way to go is on the left. You can be part of the solution to help us take that heavy lifting and move it on down the road. So thank you very much, and look forward to all your questions.
There's things that you can do today. There's things that you can do with the vehicle that you own, even if it doesn't have any of the technology. You can make sure that it's maintained. You can make sure that the tire pressure is up. You can clean all of the junk out of the trunk. You can drive less. You can drive smarter, and you can drive less aggressively. You can take a look at hybrids. You can look at plug-ins, and you can look at extended range vehicles. Those are also helpful. But I think your question was more, what about hydrogen? What can we do to make hydrogen quicker? Number one is we really lack an infrastructure. So we need some sort of government incentives for stations to put in hydrogen to take care of some of the bureaucracy blockage that occurs with any new technology. People are frightened of it, and there's lots of people saying, not in my backyard. We need to educate people on why this is good and why it's necessary, why it's safe, and then we need to incentivize it. On our part within the industry, we need to get the cost down. The catalyst material to pull the electrons from the hydrogen is still too expensive. We're learning, and certainly volume will help us. So we need to do some work on that. We need to do some work on hydrogen storage. But I think if you drive one of these cars, I think all of the people we've had drive the cars, and this is not our final design, they're very comfortable. These vehicles are very close to production. If we had the infrastructure, I think we'd have customers.
I'll add to what Al says in a couple of ways. So one, I think you're referring to what I would call the gap. It's best climate change scientists are saying we're not even close to doing as much as we need to make the difference. So when people are out changing their contact, the bulbs, the contact fluorescents, and driving a little slower and things like that, it's a small part, but I think society has to catch up to this reality if that's what really is going to make a difference. As odd as it sounds for an automaker to say this, Honda's had years of work with intelligent vehicle transportation systems, car sharing programs, things like this. People look to automakers to solve the problem. I've shown you our hierarchy. You can choose anywhere along the line there. But sometimes I remind people, if you want to cut tomorrow your greenhouse gas emissions 20% and you're driving to work 5 days a week, just tell it to me one day. if you could buy a car that's got 20%, that's nice, but if you want to cut it, wow, just something clear, you want to stay home one day, studies show you might be more productive. So that's an example that the change has to come from human action and aligning that with us automakers and what we can offer in individual choices. As far as accelerating it, I think Catherine and Al touched on that. Infrastructure is critical. We have to have that. There will be this pathway, but from our standpoint, we think even making the choice for the CNG car today gives you that apprenticeship type experience that does pave the way for successful hydrogen fuel cell, because you're rewarding the people, the same people that make the hydrogen tanks, the refueling connection devices, the high pressure lines, all of the components, giving them a profit model that can keep them forward, the forward momentum on the fuel cell side. So I know that sounds odd, that you can make a difference there, but it's true, you really can.